1 week. That's all it took. 7 days. And my life turned around in ways I never imagined. Not because I won the lottery or escaped some crisis, but because I committed to 5 habits. Just 5. And stuck with them like my life depended on it. And in a way, it did. I didn't think it would work. I've tried before. I've failed before. But something about this week was different. I was tired of feeling stuck, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. So I made a decision, not a wish, not a prayer alone, a decision to change everything. And today I want to walk you through the 5 habits that did it. Not just tips, but real life stories, real struggles, and real transformation. Before we dive in, welcome to Stoic Mindset, the place where we break down powerful ideas, real struggles, and life-changing habits, all to help you grow stronger, wiser, and more focused in a chaotic world. The first habit, the morning meeting with myself. I used to wake up already behind. Snooze button, rush, scroll through my phone, checking emails, social media, other people's lives, before even checking in with my own. But that week, I tried something new. Every morning before the sun came up, I got up an hour earlier and sat alone. No phone, no music, no distractions, just me and a journal. I called it the morning meeting, not to plan my day, not to fix my life in one sitting, but to be honest with myself. I'd light a candle, sit by the window, and ask one question: how am I, really? That first morning I couldn't even answer. My chest felt heavy. I stared at the page. And then I cried, not because anything terrible happened that day, but because I finally made space to feel something. I had been running on autopilot, performing, producing, pretending, but this habit slowed me down enough to actually see myself. By day 3, I wrote, I don't know what healing looks like, but I think this is the first time I've heard my own voice in months. By day 5, I noticed something strange. I wasn't dreading my mornings anymore. I was actually looking forward to them, not because they were easy, but because they were real. It was like having a daily check-in with my soul, a place where I didn't have to impress anyone, where the goal wasn't productivity, but presence. And that presence changed everything, because when you finally hear yourself again, you can finally start changing what's broken. The second habit, 30 minutes with God. I've been a person of faith for years. I knew the right words to pray. I knew the scriptures, but if I'm honest, most of my prayers felt distant, like I was talking about God, not to Him. That week, something shifted. I made a commitment. Every day for 30 minutes I would talk to God. No filters, no performances, no religious mask, just raw, honest, heart-wide-open conversation. I didn't kneel. I didn't rehearse anything. I sat in a quiet corner of my room, looked at the ceiling, and started talking. The first words I said were, God, I don't even know what I'm doing here, but I'm trying. That was it. Not deep theology, just truth. And somehow that truth felt holy. The next day, I told him I was angry that my life didn't look the way I wanted it to, angry that he seemed so silent lately. And you know what? I didn't get a lightning bolt. I didn't get a miracle, but I got something else. Peace. Not the kind that fixes everything, but the kind that lets you breathe in the middle of it. Then on day 4, something small but wild happened. I had just finished saying, God, I feel invisible, forgotten. That afternoon, a friend I hadn't spoken to in months texted me out of nowhere. Hey, I don't know why, but you've been on my heart. Just wanted you to know I see you. I just stared at the screen. Coincidence? Maybe. But it felt more like a whisper from heaven saying, I'm listening. Keep talking. That week taught me that prayer doesn't have to be poetic to be powerful. It doesn't have to be pretty to be heard. God isn't waiting for your performance. He's waiting for your honesty. And when I gave him that, everything changed. The third habit. One hard thing every day. There's something about discomfort we all avoid. We procrastinate. We delay that call. We avoid the mirror. We put off the conversation. We scroll instead of starting. That week, I made myself a bold promise. Every single day, I would do one hard thing, not 1,000, not the whole list, just one. Day one, it was a phone call. I had been putting it off for months, a conversation I was terrified to have. My palms were sweating. I almost talked myself out of it, but I dialed the number, went and just did it. Was it perfect? Was it peaceful? Not entirely, but I survived. And more than that, I felt stronger. Day two, I cleaned my entire inbox. Not glamorous, not deep, but it felt like I cleared mental space I hadn't touched in years. Day three, I finally told someone no. A boundary I should have set a long time ago. My voice shook when I said it, but afterward I felt this strange emotion, freedom. You see, every time I faced a fear, even a small one, I started rewriting the story in my head. I stopped believing I was weak. I stopped rehearsing the worst outcome. I stopped telling myself I can't. I started realizing the pain of avoidance is worse than the pain of action. Day four, I looked in the mirror and said something I'd never said without flinching. I forgive you. It was the hardest thing I did that week, and it was the most powerful. We think strength comes from waiting for motivation, but real strength, it's built one brave choice at a time. So I didn't wait to feel ready. I just picked something hard and did it anyway. And the more I did it, the more I realized. Fear is loudest before the action, but courage grows after it. The fourth habit, digital detox, reclaiming my focus. Let me be real with you. I didn't think I was addicted to my phone. I mean, sure, I checked it a lot, scrolled when I was bored, but doesn't everyone? It wasn't until I deleted the apps, social media, news, notifications, that I realized something terrifying. I didn't know what to do with silence. That week, I went on a full digital detox. No Instagram, no YouTube, no endless TikTok loops. I didn't just want to cut back. I wanted to see what would happen if I pulled the plug. Day one was brutal. My fingers kept reaching for apps that weren't there. I kept unlocking my phone and just staring at the home screen like a lost tourist. That's when it hit me. I hadn't been using my phone. It had been using me. But then something weird happened. By day two, my brain started to slow down. I noticed birds singing outside. I heard my own breathing again. I read a full chapter of a book without needing to check something. By day three, I could sit in silence without itching for stimulation. And by day five, I started having actual thoughts again. You know what I mean, the kind of thoughts you don't get when your brain is always scrolling. Big picture reflections, creative ideas, things I'd forgotten I even cared about. One afternoon, I sat on my couch and just stared out the window for 30 minutes. And I felt more peace in that moment than I had in weeks of binge-watching comfort content. Here's the truth I discovered. Your attention is your life. And every scroll, every tap, every endless refresh, it's costing you something. So I took it back. And what I got in return was clarity, presence, and peace. Not because digital is evil, but because sometimes you've got to disconnect, to reconnect with what really matters. The fifth and final habit, the 9 p.m. shutdown ritual. This one might sound simple, even boring, but don't underestimate it. I used to wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. Staying up late, always on, answering messages at midnight. I thought I was being productive, but I was actually running on fumes. So I tried something that changed everything. Every night at 9 p.m. I shut everything down. Phone off, laptop closed, no screens, no noise, just me and the quiet. At first, it felt weird. I'd lie in bed, restless, my brain still buzzing from the day, wanting one more scroll, one more reply. But by day three, something shifted. Instead of falling asleep by accident at 1 a.m., I was winding down on purpose. I started journaling, just 2 or 3 sentences, not deep thoughts, just, here's what went right today. Here's what I want to do better tomorrow. I read a chapter from an old book I'd forgotten. I lit a candle, just sat there, breathing slow, and something wild happened. I started sleeping deep. Not that surface-level, mind-racing kind of sleep. Real, healing, soul-resetting rest. Waking up early actually felt doable. I didn't need 5 alarms or 3 cups of coffee. I woke up clear, sharp, ready. That 9 p.m. shutdown became sacred because I realized if you don't end your day with intention, your day will never really end. Your mind stays open, your soul stays tired. But with a ritual, even a simple one, you create space for closure, for rest, for peace. It's not about being rigid, it's about being ready for tomorrow, but by respecting the end of today. So there you have it, 5 habits that changed my life in just 1 week. Not because they were magic, but because I actually did them, one day at a time. Now here's my question for you. Which one of these habits do you need the most right now? Is it waking up early, facing one hard thing, or maybe shutting down at 9 p.m.? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's grow together. And if this helped you even a little, share it with someone who needs it too, because the right habit at the right time can change everything.